Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm going to be concluding my series of videos on back to college or university, talking about a more serious subject, but in a more general sense, and that's on starting to think about a major. Now, entering college, you might know exactly what you want to do already. If that's the case, this video might not be for you, but for those of you who are already anxious about what to major in, if you keep going back and forth between different majors, or you just have no idea, let me help you out with some tips on how to pin down that major. It's a good idea just to have a running list so you can just mentally cross off majors that maybe you don't want to pursue based on your experience throughout the school year. I'm trying not to ramble on each of these points, so if you want me to shed more light on any of these topics, let me know. Maybe I'll create a follow-up video in the future. I can help those that just want some tips on how to decide a major or are struggling. Okay, let's jump into the first tip. Before we get into it, I'd love for you to subscribe so you don't miss videos from me. So tip number one is to expose yourself to a variety of subjects. What does this mean? It means taking classes not only for the major that you might want to apply for example, if you want to be a math major. Of course, you're going to be taking calculus or physics because that's part of the prerequisites to apply to the program. Get a broad range of experience by taking classes such as pottery, microbiology, Japanese art, theater. There are some campuses that offer more unique or interesting classes like Coffee 101, the politics of Kanye West, Black Genius and Sonic Aesthetics, the science of Harry Potter, the meaning of life. Ooh. That's a deep topic. Taking a subject that you're not sure whether you have an interest in can help you find out something that you could be really good at or that you really enjoy. Or it might take you back to something that you enjoyed to do as a kid that maybe you can make into a career in the future. For example, when I was a kid, I used to make videos with my sister and brother. They were silly and dumb. They didn't make any sense. But I used my creativity to create the scripts and film with an old webcam. So you never know what might trigger that. You could take a class completely out of left field. Now, I'm not suggesting that you just start taking random classes that have no relation to each other. If you know what the prerequisites are for a few majors that you're thinking of, definitely prioritize taking those classes. I know college or university isn't that cheap in a lot of places, but if you're taking 3 or 5 classes in the schedule, maybe take more classes that are more out of left field for you. And if you're worried about being alone in the class, grab a friend too and take the class together so you have someone to lean on. Or if you're bold and outgoing, just take the class and meet some new friends. Mingle with people of different ideas or cultures to really just help open up your mind to what the possibilities are. Tip number 2 is to arrange a meeting with an alumni of the major or majors that you're thinking of pursuing. I advise talking to alumni because you'll get an unbiased first-person view of what someone would actually do in a career graduating from this major day to day. And you can ask them more personal questions. You can also head over to the faculty office for the majors that you're thinking of pursuing, but might not have experience outside academia. Definitely approach them and ask them questions as well. But I would say that the faculty offices are going to be giving you more general advice versus tailored advice. If you want to know more about to pursue art, what type of art would you be good at or actually be interested in doing for the rest of your life? Do you want to do more industrial art? Do you want to do more fashion design? Do you want to do more visual art? And what kind of jobs or opportunities would come out of that? You'll be able to tailor your questions more speaking to an alumni. And if you do get a meeting set up with an alumni, ask them, what does their day-to-day look like? What do they enjoy or not enjoy about the job they're doing right now? What kind of internships or experience, whether it be volunteering or other extracurricular activities or even classes, do they recommend for you to take so you can put yourself on a good course towards graduating and getting all the necessary experience. An alumni will definitely be more candid about their experience and could give you some concrete steps to go in a specific direction. Before reaching out to any alumni, make a list of very specific careers that you're looking at so that you can make sure to reach out to the alumni with that specific job or career so that you can really know the ups, downs, inside and out of that particular job. Number 3, ask yourself what type of work environment you want. So this is not only just, do you want to be at the zoo taking care of animals? Do you want to go on expeditions discovering animal fossils? Or do you want to be a makeup artist that paints the faces of celebrities every day? Whatever you want to do, ask yourself these questions about the environment that you want to be in every day of your work life. I'd ask myself, do you want a steady schedule? Or do you like or don't mind a rotating schedule? For example, you'll have jobs where there'll be a long stretch of hours for a few days in the week. Some nurses may be on call or have 12-hour days for 4 days a week, but then they get 3 days off. Or do you want a 9-to-5 more traditional schedule? Do you like to be inside or outside? For example, if you're the manager of a retail store, for the most part, you're going to be in the store, right? Trying to sell to customers versus being an operations manager, a district manager for a company. You'll be traveling to different areas within the districts to meet with branches of the company. Or if you're a global corporate instructor, you might be traveling to different countries, teaching different associates how to perform specific tasks that the company is asking for to help their customers. Think about whether or not you want an indoor or an outdoor lifestyle. Do you like spreadsheets or being stationary, such as standing or working at a specific desk the entire day? Or do you like to be on the floor walking around? If you're an accountant, for example, for the most part, you're going to be sitting in one place doing accounting. But if you're in biology and you're in the lab, you're going to be walking around the lab, doing tests, and being much more active than sitting in front of a computer the entire day. Do you want to be in corporate, academia, or in a hospital? Think about where you're totally fine spending 8 hours a day. If you're in a corporate setting, you're going to be at the same desk the entire time. If you're at a hospital, you're going to be seeing patients every day. If you're in academia, you're going to most likely be doing office hours, researching. The structure will be very different depending on where you are. In academia, for example, you can't become a tenured professor until someone retires, right? In corporate, there's more of a chance for you to be promoted and to potentially make more money if you want to make more money. In a hospital setting, it's likely to be a hierarchical structure of what promotions look like. So we spend at least 2 years in any given role, probably longer depending on what type of industry you're in, but you're spending a good chunk of your life at work. So you want to know whether or not it's somewhere that you feel good coming to every day. It's the type of work that fits you, whether you want more active or know what you're getting into every day. When you pick a specific industry, even if you move around jobs in that industry, the requirements and the environment for that type of career will for the most part be similar. Unless you're a liberal arts major like me, that's a whole other story. There is a slew of different careers that you could do. Number 4, take online personality and possible major quizzes. This could possibly sound wonky, biased, or unreliable, but if you take a variety of quizzes and compare your results across those quizzes, it'll give you just a really good idea of where your strengths and weaknesses lie that you might not have thought before, and could be more impartial than talking to a family member that might have known you all your life, or your parents that want you to become a doctor or a lawyer. And you could learn about careers that you may not have ever heard of before because your experience might be limited to the careers that your junior high or high school referred to. You'll be able to make a list of the majors and possible careers that you could do in the future, and then you'll have a starting point to take to the faculty offices, to your professors, to the advisors at your campus, so they have a more informed idea of where to send you or what to recommend you so that you can get the best out of your college experience. I'll link below several types of major possibility or personality quiz type assessments. Feel free to take all or just a few so that you can start creating that list and help your school help you. Number 5, think about whether or not you want stability or you're okay with some uncertainty, or a lot of uncertainty. You could say in this economy that really no job is safe from instability. You know, even if you become a lawyer, there's no guarantee that you'll get a high enough paying job to pay off your loans to become a lawyer, right? But for the most part, there are roles that you can expect to really have a job no matter where you live. Pay could be different, but for the most part, know that you're able to make more or less a fixed income. If you become a nurse, doctor, or work as a wedding coordinator for a big wedding company, for example, you'll most likely always have a job or will be able to easily find a job, or there will be a good range of jobs for you to choose from, because everyone always needs those services, right? Because we'll always need medicine, and there are always people getting married. So I would call those career choices more stable careers. You would be able to more safely feed your family, be able to put away savings, be able to eventually afford a house, because your career should be pretty set. What I would call more uncertain or unstable careers are the classic artist, for example. If you want to be a painter, it's not an easy career to go down unless you're at the very top, the top few where their art pieces go for $1 million or $5 million in auction. There are definitely a lot more people at the bottom of the pyramid that aren't making anything. Or as a musician, you could have a mainstream song that's watched 1 billion times on YouTube, played on all the major radio stations, or you could be a musician that is wondering whether or not you'll get a gig at a downtown bar tomorrow, or have to put off buying groceries for another week. So I would say unstable careers are more unstructured, and you could very well be very wealthy at the top, but be in that kind of 0.5 or 1%, or live very meagerly, which is probably even 50% in some industries. You have to really think about what you're willing to give up. Are you okay being a starving artist for maybe 10, 20 years before maybe you strike it gold? You create this beautiful painting that these millionaires want, and you'll be getting a lot of money and you'll finally be able to buy a house. Or do you want more to be able to raise a family and to save and to have a decent car, to go on vacations and know how much you'll make every year and be able to put that amount into set activities, events, etc. every year? I would try to answer this as honestly as possible. I'd say the dream for a lot of people maybe is to become a famous actor, but they're not willing to go through long periods where they might not make money, or they might not make money ever, or be successful ever in their life. There's that huge risk. There are just those that can get through the uncomfortableness and really wait it out, put in the work, and towards an unknown future. I'm not saying one is better over the other. It's more what fits best for you. And part of stability is also thinking about what do the ups and downs in the industry look like. Even if there are less nurses being hired, for example, for the most part, nurses are needed at hospitals. Also, a long-term thought is whether or not your job could be possibly automated in the future, right? In the 1800s, there were women who were typists, and now that job is completely obsolete. You could be heading for a career that could become obsolete in the near future. And in that specific field, are there more full-time, contract, or project rules? Now, in corporate, for example, if you want to work for a major company like Amazon or Microsoft, many people start out as contractors, and that is unstable in the sense that you're working for a contracting firm. After a certain amount of time, you have to stop working at the company. You're not on full-time with the company, so it's easier to let you go. So are you okay with perhaps starting off with 3 or 4 contract roles before you land a full-time role? Or do you want to pursue a career where, for the most part, full-time roles are offered almost immediately, or you can get into that full-time swing quickly? Final question, and arguably the most important, is to ask yourself whether or not it's hard. Whether or not the major or majors that you have in mind are difficult for you. Now, this is not to do with the difficulty of the test or the classes. Is the major or career you have in mind something that fits in naturally with your skill set? For example, I don't really have a math brain, so I knew I was never going to become an accountant, a financial advisor, or a theoretical physicist. Now, I do have a heavy interest in Astronomy, I love studying the stars, planets, the universe, but because I don't have a math brain, it doesn't make any sense for me to make a career out of it when there are so many people. Math is not only a passion of theirs, but they can more efficiently and problem solve than I can. This advice could go either way. If you want to have a stable life, be able to pay your rent on time, all the time, be able to get married and have kids, then even though you might enjoy drawing, becoming an artist probably is not the best fit for you. But maybe you can think of being a designer or pick a different subfield within art that could help you be more stable, even though it necessarily isn't your passion. That could give you that stability that you value, but at the same time, at least fall in the realm of being creative, career you pursue. You'll be spending a lot of sleepless nights doing the homework, studying for exams. Really put in the time and effort before you get to the point where you have to decide to know what pain you want to live with for the rest of your life, or what pain you're okay with. For us normal folk, it's a matter, again, of looking at what you value for the future, what you want to do every day. Just to close everything, if you still have no idea what you want to do, even after applying 1, 2, or all of these tips, the world isn't over. Just take classes, experience college. It's never going to happen again in your life. So be present, talk to people and learn more about yourself and others so that it can help pull out maybe some ideas for you on what you can pursue as a major. So I lied, I guess. I rambled a ton on some of these points, but I really felt like it was important to fill out. But I hope that this was helpful and that you're one step closer to figuring out what you want to do for the rest of not only your collegiate life, but your work in your life after college. If you try out any of these tips, or if you want me to hash out any of these tips in more detail, let me know. I'd be happy to do a follow-up video. All right, my college friends, good luck. I wish you the best, and thank you so much for your support and watching. I hope you have an awesome day. Bye.